guys, it's Jay. Welcome back to Riding in Search of Enlightenment. I have been kind of vacant from the channel recently, but there's purpose behind it, and I figured I kind of owed you guys an explanation. I figured I'd talk to the people that watch this channel regularly and kind of explain myself. Moving forward, I have been filming a lot more. I've been editing a little bit more. I'm going to be putting a little bit more effort into the videos that I'm making, and I'm just going to make sure that they're a little bit longer. I'm editing them a little bit better, and just kind of having a little bit more purpose behind the content. And so like telling a little bit more of a story, not just having so many random rides and maybe not uploading every single week, but maybe, you know, stretching it out to 2 or 3 weeks between uploads, but making sure that, you know, they're a little bit longer and a little bit higher quality. Awesome news recently. My buddy John, one of my riding friends, he sent me a link, and it was just to a random Kijiji page. It said use Harley parts. So followed the link and ended up kind of chasing that thread to 2-in-1 pipe. I know that I just did the exhaust on my bike, and I'm really satisfied with the work that I did and with the exhaust system that I have right now, but it was too good of a deal to pass up. I found a Roland Sands design 2-in-1 slant pipe that fits my 96-inch twin cam perfectly, and so I'm going to be installing that. Had to pick it up. I'm not going to tell you guys how much I got it for, but everywhere else on the internet that I looked, it was over $1,000, and lots of the places over $1,000 American. I got mine for considerably cheaper than that. So pick that up. I'm gonna toss that on the bike, and we'll kind of see how the bike performs and how it sounds. I really like the way that they sound from the sound clips I've seen online, so hopefully mine sounds the same. Other than that, yeah, I've really enjoyed the channel content so far, and I've really enjoyed doing content for Riding in Search of Enlightenment. And I just think this is the next chapter, is that, you know, I'm gonna go on more trips, do some longer edits, maybe look into, you know, a little bit better camera equipment, just so I can capture kind of that essence of motorcycling, and put a little bit more effort into the channel, because I absolutely love the way that the bike's looking. I love the way the bike performs. I've done so much to the bike, and now I want to put it to its test, you know, put it through the paces and to its limits, and take you guys along for the ride. So, cheers. So I have my old system completely removed now off the bike. I'm gonna have to grab my flanges and then also the circlets that are just in there and pop them on my new set of pipes. But I can already feel there's considerable weight saving. Even this was less than my last system, and then even more now with that new pipe. Got the oxygen sensors there dangling down. Let's get those old nasty gaskets out of there and some new ones in. So I'm running these pipes, and I realized that the rear O2 sensor is a little short. So I pulled the rear sensor, just sitting up there with the pipe, and I just unclipped it here, and then I just went back and freed just the wire for that rear sensor, and then I've just gone in and removed my battery and loosened all of my screws for my battery housing, so that now I can fit that rear clip behind the battery housing and get it closer to where that O2 sensor is going to be attached into the pipe. So basically I just bought myself, you know, like the width of that backbone here of cord. And so luckily, hopefully it won't have to replace that rear O2 sensor. We are now going to install the O2 sensor in the rear pipe and then pop the rear pipe into place. You're always installing the rear pipe first. Here we go. Those exhaust gaskets were a bitch. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. I never hope to have to do that bullshit again. I can just reroute that O2 sensor. Basically, I'm just going to tuck it in here. So it kind of hides down into the side here. And then where that other wiring had come out, originally it ran in here. And there's a little spot for it. So I popped that clip. So I'm going to connect these guys behind the frame here. And just like zip tie it in right there. So it's still just as covered. It's still kind of tucked away in that little area, but super clean and gives me enough to be able to run my O2. So in typical fashion, I smashed my head. It's Father's Day. Just troubleshooting the pipe right now. It turned out to be a little bit more difficult than I expected. I rerouted the O2 sensors, and so the rear one, I just had to take that battery box off. I unplugged it and then kind of just rerouted it on the other side of the backbone, which gave me a little bit more room, which worked great. And then the front one, there's kind of like a housing that's just like down at like the very front of the bike. You can like unclip it, and then you can actually pull the clip out of that. It's kind of mounted on it. And from there, I just rerouted it up the frame. It was a little bit more difficult than I expected. I had to I'm currently making a custom spacer for the one mid. It needs to sit a little bit further out just so that the pipe can clear. And so right now I have some washers that are in there, but I'm going to make a custom little bracket just to fit behind there. It's, only about 1/8 of an inch thick. So I'm just going to use my Dynotech Powervision. Plug her on in. And I already downloaded the flash for this pipe. I just picked the one that I had downloaded on there. I make sure that I turn the key on. And then you flash your ECU with the new one. You'll see how she runs. This can auto adjust as well. There's some fun kind of learning stuff in here that it does when you stay hooked up to the bike, so I can go for a little ride with it and it will kind of adjust any bugs out of the system as well.